Hey guys, it's K. Lord Hill, this year's So Create Screenwriter Stimulus winner. And I am, first of all, I just want to say, big thank you to all my friends, all my family, all the new people I've met in the writing community that have showed their support, tweeted, IG'd, Facebooked about me. I really appreciate it. To So Create, hey, I've been pestering you guys for a year, so thank y'all for the vote of confidence and the opportunity to continue to get better and work on my craft. To all the writers that are in the top 25 that participated in the contest, I'm a living witness. You may not win it one year, you may fail at something one year, but if you're bold enough, and let me be honest, I stopped writing for 2 months after I lost. I was heartbroken. But so you got time. But you got to see it through, because that's what writers do. We got to see it through. We gotta write in fade to black. So we gotta see it through. A little bit about me though. So I'm from Louisiana. I went to college in Minnesota. And post graduating from college is when I got interested, in movies and film, and I got interested in terms of like, how do movies get made? Like, how does someone go about writing a movie if they decided to? And so after about 5 years of exploring and experimenting, 2018, I got into the University of North Carolina School of the Arts MFA program. This is where I met some of the most talented and now emerging screenwriters and producers, in my cohort. The first semester, first couple, months of film school was tough for me. I didn't have a foundation, and so I had to really scrap to sort of catch up with everyone. But now I'd say 2 years later, and especially going into this process, I have about 2 to 3 things that I normally do now to prepare to write a script. First things first, like, I have to read. I think writing and reading, are synonymous. Like, I don't know if you can really do one without the other. But that's me. That's my process. So for this time around, I am reading This Is How You Lose Her by Junot Diaz, which is a story about a guy who, meets a girl and he's trying to get it right. Inevitably, he doesn't. And this is how you lose her, hence the title. And so with my story, I wanted to read something that was, obviously love-oriented. I'm writing a Black romantic comedy / leaning into a drama. So I describe it as Love Jones meets Silver Lining Playbook. In that world, we're going to see how we can merge those worlds and make them work. So I definitely read a lot. The second thing I do is I read a lot of scripts. And I think if you're an upcoming screenwriter, if you're trying to figure out how the greats do it, or just how do people write that, for people who get their scripts bought, what are they doing? What are they doing that I'm not doing? And so I think reading scripts is, especially reading scripts of movies you haven't seen or TV shows you haven't seen, I think is important. So probably in the last 2 years, I've read 150, 175 scripts. I don't know if that's a lot or a little, but I really try to read a lot of scripts. And then the last thing I do is I try to come into a screenplay or a script with a question to investigate. And so this particular question that I'm investigating is, how can, and it's kind of all over the place, so forgive me. But how can people, if someone decided that they wanted to throw the grieving process on its head, right? So people say it's 5 steps, 7 steps, 12 steps to grieving. If some people or, 2 individuals decided they were going to team up and, throw those, steps of grief, on its head, and decided they were going to do something alternative, what would that look like? And so, one of my close friends in the production program, who was my roommate, Anna, we had a really great conversation about how people grieve and what's that like, and how can we put that on the page and make it comedic and make it fun and make it light, and then somehow get these 2 on a road to falling in love. And so that's what my script's about. The process is going well. I feel really confident. Next week, we'll do a little tour of my writing hub. So thank y'all.